All right, welcome into the half. My name is Aaron Montgomery. This is Erich Campbell. Eric, how are you doing today, sir?
I'm happy to be here just in time. What you guys don't know is behind the scenes, I was having severe microphone problems that just got dealt with.
Well, come sliding in sideways. It's all good. You're still here. So that's what's most important, sir. You're here. We're
it,
ready.
it
We're
happens.
excited for the half. Ramona says, about time. What took you so long?
Yeah, right. I barely made it. Aaron can tell you, like, I slid in under the intro, folks. So yeah, that
we,
was
we've both done this, man. So
oh
it's
yeah,
just common. One of us will get started and like they'll be along when they.
it'll
But
work
that's a
out.
great, yeah, that's a great part about the half, Eric. There's no pressure. There's no, we're here to
No,
have some fun with you guys, answer some questions, hopefully give you some
please.
great information, and just interact. Right? Hello, Cindy. Thanks for
Yes. Hi,
tuning
Cindy.
in.
Yeah, share this with your friends. Let us know what you want to talk about. Otherwise, we will just talk about what we're already talking about. That's what we usually do. That's why we're here for the half. But yeah, I would love to see more people sharing. I know the cool thing, Aaron just told me via the Two Reeler Guys that we also are on LinkedIn Live right now,
Yeah,
which is
exactly.
awesome.
On my my LinkedIn page over there. So if you go
That's
over to LinkedIn
awesome.
and you find Aaron Montgomery, I finally got access to the LinkedIn Live side
Ah,
of things. Still
I
working on that.
submitted. I'm not there yet. I guess you beat me, man. I'm not verified yet.
Yeah, you got to get keep getting those connections. The more connections you have over there, the better.
Yeah.
Todd, hello,
Yeah.
yo, yep.
Yo, as usual. Yo, Todd, let's go.
Hello, Lori. Thanks for being here. So,
Right?
yeah, like Eric said, share this, but we want your questions, guys. What do you
Please.
guys want to talk about? Like I said, Eric and I can come up with plenty to talk about. That's never been a problem. For especially for me, if you guys watch the Two Regular Guys, it, I have been called out as the one who makes the shows go 2 or 3 parts. Hey, you know what? I'm okay with that.
Might be the case. I know today I was having a hard time because today on the Two Reeler Guys we had Todd on doing an awesome job discussing DTF, direct to film. So we're talking about printing on technically like a DTG printer, direct to film to create transfers. My problem was every time somebody talks about color in any way, shape, or form, and if you mention trying to get black to look like black, I have got to jump in on that because I had so much pain when I was an early sublimator with people sending me art that had 5 or 6 blacks. Like if you look at the color spots of the palette, it would literally have like 5 different versions of black, and you print it out. Half of them would look gray, half of them would be yellow toned, half of them would be cool, cool black, warm black, 100% K black, and it would look gray and awful, and you get blamed as the printer. And always, I had to learn how to create a rich black. So
There you go.
I know every time I jump in on that one, I'm annoying on this one, but yeah, go learn what a rich black is
Yeah.
for yourself. Look it up. There's plenty of formulas for it. It's a black that has more than just 100% K ink going down. It has color on top of it and more density than the 100% K offers. Its color on top of that or underneath that. Doesn't matter. The order is
It's
handled by your
yeah.
software. But yes, the black
Color
has
mixing
color in it.
together to make that rich, deep black is what's
Yes,
happening for
rich
sure.
black.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Yep. And when we talk about that, Eric, interesting. Yeah, because I'm the same way. People come into this industry and they, oh, I just buy this thing on Etsy and I push print, and that's just we've had so many great people that work so hard for so
No.
long that to kind of dumb it down to that level just isn't fair, right? And there is a lot more that goes into it. We have to
Oh
understand
yeah.
some color theory. We have to understand the difference between RGB and CMYK. I'm not saying if you don't understand that you shouldn't be in business. What I'm saying is
No, of
that's
course not.
important information to learn. And so, yeah, like Eric
Well,
said,
and
whenever we
that's
get a chance to share that stuff, we always jump in.
and that particular tip is such a simple one that makes such a huge difference to your prints. I cannot tell you how many times I've had someone complaining about the fact that they can't get good black.
Yeah.
It's such a simple thing to do is to look for those color chips and figure it out. Admittedly, the whole RGB versus CMYK color space even makes my head spin. But boy, I do tell people, man, get a rich black. The one I used to use is called designer black. You'll often see it called that because it's a specific mix of CMYK. But yeah,
Yeah,
learn rich black. If there's nothing
exactly.
else you do in printing for color, then do
Yeah.
that.
Well, you embroiderers, Eric, you just put the color of thread in there that you want and you're good to
We
go,
do.
right?
We do. What I'm going to tell you, here's the one that gets other people with embroidery is that though our top suppliers are very good about this, especially if you buy cheap, whatever the heck thread that's off of Amazon, which some people are doing, dye lots, your thread can vary. You can get the same color number and have a small amount of variation. It's not like what you get from printing something incorrectly, but there can be small amounts of variation. And if you're holding on to, thread cones forever, probably longer than you should look at that and say, maybe we got to make sure that on an entire run, just take a brief look over your colors. If you put all your cones together to thread up a multi-head machine and one of these things doesn't look like the other, it's probably not a good idea to keep running and just tuck them in. It doesn't happen a ton. Like I said, super cheap threads. The other thing we'd have is overdyeing. Now, I haven't seen trouble with that, but back in the day, we'd have people with super cheap thread who had a black thread that is actually thread of a color that's been overdyed. So it's like they had a run of a color that they either had too much of or was damaged or didn't come out right. So we dye the heck out of it, and now it's black, and now it's been overdyed, and that's more processing, and they would break more often. But it makes a big difference. And Todd's right on the money. I got to bring a comment on this one. Black shirts from brand to brand, big difference. Yeah, try and mix brands on a like a critical team sport type of thing. You got the one guy who's like charcoal. No one's happy with that. No one likes that. So it's hard to mess with.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna jump around in the comments here just a little bit here.
Sure.
Todd says Erich Black is a pretty dope rapper name. Just saying.
So. Definitely not going for anything anywhere near that.
Yeah, okay. All right.
Leave that no, thank you.
Ramona said, I had someone laugh at me when I was searching for shades of black in thread. And
they should not. There are absolutely shades of black. Also, there is something about a nice charcoal gray. Get a good charcoal gray and stick with it. But I'll say I've had problems with, especially in grays, warm grays versus cool grays. That is very, very real. You can make a subdued patches. If you don't know, like in the military, you'll have a full color patch and then they'll have a subdued patch that is a range of grays. They actually have a color chart for translating this stuff. But whenever I do a subdued patch, the one thing that gets weird is if you try and get this range of different grays in a grayscale and one of them is warm, when it's only in the presence of other black, gray, and silver, that warm gray, if the rest of them are cool, looks yellow. It suddenly looks all gold and weird. So the range does matter, even in thread. I mean, you got to look at that kind of warmness, coolness spectrum and go, all right, some of those grays are really warm and brassy.
Yeah.
And so it's worth kind of laying them all out together and taking a look. So yeah, I wouldn't make fun of you, but I've certainly been made fun of for my preferences for sure.
But you're in the same ilk, so it's good.
Oh yeah.
All right, Eric. Yeah, I love it. So Cindy King said, I have a friend asked me if I would embroider the Yellowstone logo. I just know Yellowstone is a show.
Yeah,
I don't know anything about it either.
I don't know about the show. I'm assuming that it's an issue. I'll tell you this, that every time around this year, this is when embroiderers all start to find out that everyone wants to do just a little bit of copyright violation.
Yeah. Because I wonder if it's like the Yellowstone Park logo or something like that.
Yeah, right. It's it depends. Like I said, and the other thing you're going to find is some things that are kind of like, oh, they're public. They may actually have some regulations. Certainly, I know. I just talked about armed forces. There's some stuff you got to worry about with that, depending on what you're working with. There are assets that still are under some control. But yeah, I don't know. I'll say, being somebody who worked with TV and film for a while, I haven't done it in a minute, but that was the hardest thing, is everybody would come to you. And I remember like when Better Call Saul was coming back on and they were doing this launch party and they had the Los Pollos Hermanos, the fast food restaurant. I did all the stuff that was used in the promotion party and the first ads for Better Call Saul. And everybody wanted the official uniform visors from that. And I made those up, and I couldn't tell you that. The other thing we did for the launch party, we made cornhole boards. Depends on what you call the game. I don't. That's not what we call it around here anyway.
Bags,
like bags. Yeah. Bags is another term for it. We made boards that were themed for the party, and we made a set of one set and like one set of bags. And let me tell you how many people saw me sublimating those and were trying to run off with my cuts for sewing those bags up. It's like every time if you do something cool, boy, do people want to walk away with it around the holidays.
Yeah. So let's see here. Ramona said, talking about the Yellowstone here, said, that logo is very popular right now. The show has a ranch, and it's the ranch's brand on the show. So there you go. And that's
So is that like
interesting.
a cattle brand? Because yeah, I've done a ton of cattle brand stuff for actual ranches, but yeah,
Yeah.
that's
And
a
then
tough one.
and that is a tough one because then it's a fictional ranch on a show. Is that copyrighted? I mean, that's where
Yeah,
like,
the
yeah,
assets would be. Here's the rule that I always give everybody with that. If the thing you are making wouldn't have value without the show or something else existing, then the chances are you're infringing some right that they have.
yeah,
Even if you're going to tell me that you're not exactly using the IP. Like the one that I get all the time is I can do a sports team's name in their colors. It's not their logo, and I'm like, oh no, that's all trade dress all over the place. And here's the thing: the concept is if you're causing some sort of material damage to them, if they could have made that money and you're making it instead, and it's on the back of a program or a brand they created, the likelihood is you're probably in violation. Does it mean everyone's going to get caught? No, but you're surely spinning that roulette wheel every time you do it.
yeah, effects.
One of these times is going to come up feds. You don't really
Yeah,
want that to
exactly.
happen to you.
Yeah, Cindy says I did not do it. I told her it was probably copyrighted. No need
Yep.
to be shut down over one jacket. So there you go. I love it.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. I'm not going to swear up and down on my life. You know, I'm not. Hey, I'm not Charlie. If you guys know Charlie Tobley, he comes on our show and he always jokes around about bootleg shirts and stuff.
Yeah.
I didn't do a lot of bootleg work in my life. I'm not going to lie and say I've never made myself something. I've never made a friend of mine something.
Sure.
I surely have.
Yeah.
But it's something that you don't want to. I would never want to take money for it, and honestly, I wouldn't want it to come out of my shop. The couple of times I've made something, I kind of told people, "Hey, here's the deal. You found this patch on the side of the road. This is not something I made. I'm not making one for your friends. We are very close friends. It's the only reason you're getting this."
Yeah.
And the other thing was, I don't make things generally that are commercially available. If they could buy the patch, I'll buy you the dang patch. If it's something that literally doesn't exist because it's so rare or obscure, that's where I'm a little more willing to give you something.
Okay.
But I'll say popular show. Yeah, I wouldn't do it.
All right. Well, we're really close friends, Eric. So after the show, let's talk about what things you can make for me. Okay.
Hey, man.
Just kidding, buddy. All right.
Nobody gets to know. No, not gonna.
Mike, good morning. Listening and driving today, so we'll try not to do anything that'll cause any traffic accidents. So
I won't make any like siren noises or.
Yeah, there you go.
I'll keep my hand off the soundboard.
Yeah, great to have you here, Jeff. Hello, thanks for tuning in, Jeff. No Adams. We love having Jeff here.
We just like having Jeff.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, don't get me wrong.
Jeff is a Reggie nominee himself, just like
he
Adam.
Absolutely is. Hey, I'm proud to be in the category with him, Jeff. You did a good job on all the stuff you've been putting out there, and you deserve it.
Now, so Eric said that now, so now that's out of the way. Now, from here on out, the gloves are off. Eric's like, just vote for me. No, I'm just kidding. I know you're not like that, but that's
don't get me wrong. I love getting the votes because hey, I'm like everybody else. I need reinforcement as much as the rest of you guys do. But at the same time, I would love for Jeff to win.
Yeah. All right. Bevy Jean, good morning. Here to learn. Thanks for being here, Bevy Jean. Thank you. Okay, let's see here. Todd talking about the copyright deal here.
Surely,
the holidays do test your limits, right? Surely like you said, it is that time of year where people are, hey, would you make this for my kid or whatever? Yes. And then Evelyn, yes, we were still down the color rabbit hole, but
hey, color
we made our way out, so we're okay. And then yes, where's Gordon Firemark? In fact, I just reached out to Gordon this morning to let him know that he was a Reggie nominee. So he's
been the best.
Yeah, we may see if Gordon can come back on for 2022 and give us any updates or just because it's funny, people will say, oh, well, what about this? And then I go, here you go watch this show. This is an actual attorney. And
100%.
And they honestly, still want to argue about it. I'm like, okay, well.
I would love to have him in on the whole fictional branding thing. Because one of the things people may or may not know about me is, boy, do I ever love a fictional company in a movie or something. Man, that is my favorite stuff ever, is the ephemera, weird, dumb stuff like the uniform on the security guards from Jurassic Park. That's where I'm at. That's where my head's at when I watch movies. I watch props like that always. So I would love to know more of that. I know that you can't make it, but boy, I sure wish I
could. Nice. Todd talking about your rules here with making stuff for friends. First rule of Flight Club, there is no Fight Club, so same kind of rules apply apparently.
Yep, I'll be super honest. What I've done a couple of times is friends of mine who are cosplayers. If you don't know what cosplay is, people who dress up in costumes from properties, anime, TV, sci-fi, whatever. When they have had some things like what I just mentioned, I did for A good friend of mine was super into aliens. He was super into the Alien series. And when Prometheus came out, I did one for the Wayland Corporation, which is that's the people who who make the robots and who sent everybody out essentially to go mess with the aliens. I made him a patch, and I did it where there was no merch. He was going to the initial launch of the thing, and I took it from the official packet of materials he got with the launch, and I made him one patch, single color patch. And yes, I could get in trouble for that. Honestly, he went to a premiere, and a lot of people were dressing up. There was no bad blood on the side of the movie theaters for a guy wearing one patch. I would never produce it again, and I never have.
Yeah.
So that's the kind of thing I'm talking about. I would love to do more of that, but honestly, I don't want to risk it myself. Even though I don't have a shop that can get taken down, I would be considered a hobbyist right now by those folks. I still don't want to do that. If it's something that you can go purchase online, I would be purchasing it.
Yeah.
But for when there's something super rare or for an event where it's impossible for the thing to exist yet,
Sure.
that's where I'm all about it, and that's where it was fun. But it's something I really do shy away from and don't talk about a lot.
Yeah. Yep. Totally. Ramona says, you two are so bad. I think,
Sometimes.
Ramona, the real thing here is I'm a bad influence on Eric. So just
no, like I said, I can count it on a hand, folks. It's not something that I do all the time, but it's certainly something that of course, there's temptation. We want to make cool stuff, and people make cool properties. We all, of course, the temptation's there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't want to be Etsy, and I know that's mean, but
it also could be the let the gloves off and it's fight it out time. You and Jeff are in the same category, and it's battle royale right now. And again,
no,
all in fun. I'm just kidding. Everybody, as I've said over and over again, Eric, about the Reggies, the show we did last Friday, to me, is the most important show of all of them. We get to recognize everybody that has done something, and so now it's just a fun time, right? It's just who's going to get the votes, and it's fun. I think it's fun.
I think so too. And honestly, like I've said many a time, it's like I'm on the show and I've gotten the awards, give the other guy the award. I mean, I love the votes. It makes me feel nice, but by all means, the guys who are coming in now, who are getting their chance to be there after putting in so much work and creating so much content, I want them to get recognized.
Yep.
So yeah, sure. I'll go on the line with that. Does it feel nice? Of course it does.
And to me, it's more fun to have a battle. So, all right. Cindy says, in the embroidery world, our groups stay away from sites that knock off copyright logos. So
please.
Yep. Please. So excellent. And
here's the thing I'll say is, when you're doing a knockoff, every time somebody asks me a question whether something's right, they almost always know. If you're asking a professional to try and make sure you almost always know that you're already on the wrong side of this thing. It's just the truth. And especially the day you're thinking about listing something online like that, please don't. Oh, this is not true, Cindy. I'm going to come out just to specifically tell you. No, this is absolutely not true. In fact, what you will find out that my house does have is I designed a Viking Age style seal for my wedding that we did. My wife and I did. I drew this thing myself. It was a Urness style, if you look it up. And I've put that on several things. She wants more of those because I have stopped doing that for some time. What you will find is that in my Southwest style house that looks like a Pueblo, that there are several pieces of Viking Age art that I've drawn or that I've interpreted that don't make sense. But yeah, I'm gonna give Jeff this for sure. Be in embroidery long enough, you'll be well versed in copyright law, especially for some reason if you make patches. Everybody wants you to knock something off. This is absolutely the case. And I'll say on my part, the other thing people would do constantly when I was early in this game was want me to put logos from things on knockoff garments. Yeah. They'd bring me an Adidas look-alike and want an Adidas logo on it.
Yeah.
That happened a lot. People were constantly trying to come in and get, back in the day, it was Nike and Adidas were the big ones. I mean, now these days, which cracks me up, if you have a long enough memory in garments, you're like, remember when Champion was Walmart's crap brand? Anybody else remember like the Champion was not cool? Champion was like the sweats that you had to get at a big box store. And now people are looking to knock off Champion logos because they become cool again. But you'll find that that's another thing people do all the time is want you to make knockoff gear, or, they want the LV from Louis Vuitton. There's always somebody who wants to like start producing their own knockoffs or look-alike gear. And it's always the fight with people because they'll start doing oh, if you change something 4 ways or this much percentage, and I'm like, no, derivative work is specifically protected under copyright law.
Yeah.
You can't derive something from the original logo and then use it.
Yeah.
Doesn't happen, folks. But yeah, there are some fuzzy lines, and there are some places where you're not getting chased. Cosplay is one of those, but they can still come for you.
Yeah.
Start selling that stuff, and you may find out.
Yeah, exactly. Interesting. Yeah, and
Yeah.
you mentioned embroidery. I think just being in the decorating world, it's a big part of what again, customers are seeing this
Sublimation,
stuff. They
come
want
on.
to come to you and say, "Hey, will you do this for me?" And then you've got to make that decision. I would say the best business decision is to say no, and but people don't always make that decision, and then oh, it's not going to happen to me. Okay, take that chance. That's your chance that you're taking. We've seen companies of all sizes.
Absolutely.
A good friend of mine, Lenny. I think it was Lenny Harris.
Yeah.
Did a Hello Kitty thing, cost him $20,000. Almost lost his business over it.
Yep. That can happen. And like I said, it's not that. And the other thing that'll happen to you, that is the worst. I'll be honest. I've been honest on the show and told everybody that I'm not a big sports fan. I have come afoul of doing logos for small universities and high schools that were knockoffs of NFL or knockoffs of some other, a not very well-known NFL team or a not very well-known college team to me, which is pretty easy to do. If I didn't know and I didn't search the thing ahead of time, you can end up doing something wrong. I have been on the wrong end of a C&D at a shop. So I've had a cease and desist at a shop before. That is for real. We stopped immediately, but yeah, that's still that we were lucky that that's all that happened.
Yeah.
That we got a cease and desist. We stopped producing the garments for the school, and that was the end of it.
Yeah.
But it could have been much worse. Plus, the other thing people say is like, oh, like Jeff's saying, I see people claim parody constantly. Could happen. The problem is you might be in the right and still get bankrupted by mounting a legal defense. Or end up in a lot of trouble trying to mount a legal defense.
Yeah.
You don't want the problems. You don't want the trouble. But yeah, parody is another funny one where there are people saying, oh, it's a parody, and you're not making fun of anything, and you're selling it based on the value of the thing.
Yeah. Because people are, because it's in the now. So
it's hard.
Gina says Nike not worth my time.
Nope.
Yep, exactly. All right, guys.
I mean,
what else we got?
Off the big ones like Harley, Disney, just don't.
Yeah,
just don't.
Yeah. I can't remember where I read this somewhere. There was this similar kind of discussion going on, and somebody's like, if Disney really wanted to shut down the people that are copywriting them, just walk around their parks and find out where people bought the stuff from. It's like, yeah, there you go. Well, where'd you get that shirt? Oh, here you go.
Etsy is full. Just filled to the brim. I think that it's just hard to fight them all. It's a hydra. You cut off one head and more of them spring up.
Yeah.
But the thing is,
you just think that if you're not going to be exactly I'm not the one that's going to get caught. Okay, that's your risk that you're taking. So
could be. Yep.
Let's see here. Ramona said, more than once I've told people to draw something original. I can replicate a drawing. Okay.
Yep.
Nice. Love it. I love seeing the Nike logo on a part and Port and Company shirt. Yeah. Let's see here. Okay. Mike says, I've done a bunch of HD stuff, not driving anymore, all for my family as gifts over the years.
Yep. It's one of those things where it's like the technicality of it is that you're still in violation, but that's one of those things. There's a lot of like safety through obscurity. You just don't know when it's going to happen. And that's why I'm always on the side of being more cautious.
Yeah. Yeah. Evelyn says Disney will come up and ask people where they got stuff from. I live here. Interesting. I've not experienced that before. I mean, I don't go to Disney a whole lot, but
no, this is true. I'm going to tell you, Ramona says, per Etsy, the copyright holder needs to make a complaint. Absolutely. And I'm going to say, having been a copyright holder who's complained at Etsy, you don't go real far. They're not great about policing. Even if you have a compelling case, that it takes forever for them to reply, and they don't always do much about it. It's in Etsy's best interest to keep selling. I don't want to tell people that or be controversial about it, but it's in Etsy's best interest for people to keep selling no matter what.
I'm happy to tell people that. I mean, they're a publicly traded company, folks. Anytime you've got a publicly traded company and you go, how are they making decisions? They're making decisions based on how much money they're making their shareholders, period.
They have to. It's usually it is what they have to do.
That
Publicly
is
traded
their,
company that has
yep.
shareholders.
The people that run that business, that
They
is
have
their
to do that.
job, is to make the shareholders happy, which
Mm-hmm.
means making more money, which
Yeah.
means let's push things as far as we can until it stops making us money, right?
And that is how it's going to continue unless there's something really huge that lands, and it's hard for that to happen. I mean, it's
Yeah.
like I said, I'm not going to say I think the copyright system we have right now is perfect. By no means do I think it does its job correctly. Plus, it has big holes in it that don't make sense on both directions. You know,
Yep.
It's too harsh sometimes, and it's too open on other things.
Yep.
But yeah, it's I'm not surprised to see that Etsy would just kind of continue to shake their head.
And
kind
and
of
Jeff
claim they
says,
can't
I'm
do anything.
amazed Etsy platform is allowed to stay up. I almost feel like world would be a better place without Etsy, but that's just my own personal opinion.
Sometimes I feel that way too,
And I
because
know people
as an
make money on
embroiderer,
Etsy, so I apologize
no,
if I'm not
there's
trying
good
to
things
offend
about
anybody,
it.
but
Like as a digitizer and someone who does software work, and I'm sure Jeff also knows this, there is so much auto digitizing and bad quality files that are just puked up in large quantities on Etsy digitizer sites that for us it's hard to even look at it sometimes. You hate to see it because it's also people get taken for that. Crafters often especially get bad fonts, bad designs that don't run well, and then they come into our groups and ask why things aren't going right and why their machine sucks or why they don't know what's happening with this embroidery. And often it's just a really poorly made file where they just make them en masse. And it's sad, but that's that has nothing to do with the copyright problems. It is pretty bad.
Ramona says puke up. That's exactly right.
Oh,
sorry.
100%. Yeah, they really are. It is just, and they are vomitous. They're bad.
Yep. Cindy says, I don't understand. The Brother machines have Disney designs for personal use,
but they're licensed for it. That's the thing. You buy the machine, you're buying the license. You're getting the license to make it for yourself. But the thing is, as if those are not being misused all the time. So it's all about value. Disney sees some value there, so they're taking it and they're taking the risk.
Yep.
But
Yep. There was a printer in Orlando that tried printing almost nothing but Disney things. Guess how that turned out?
Poorly.
Yeah,
poorly.
I actually know somebody that had their business shut down. Wife was a designer at Disney. They lived in Orlando. They were making some phone cases. Happened to put something out there, and
nope.
Didn't even matter if you worked there, and
they don't give a crap. If you have seen any of the social media out there where any of the cast members at Disney talk too much about it, do too many TikToks during work hours, they get banned from the parks for life sometimes on that stuff. They are very draconian. I'm not in.
Yep.
So not even.
IP is a big part of what keeps the dollars coming in, apparently. So
shouldn't have talked about it.
Todd's opened another can of worms here. It's like the fabric you bought at the Joann's or wherever for personal use, not to produce for others.
Yep. That's the thing. The craft loophole is a tough one, and it's hard to close. So it's. Gail says no notification. I'm late. Sorry about that, Gail. Yeah, usually there should be the same notifications. Sign up and subscribe. Allow notifications. It's a good way to go.
Yep. But
subscribe and ring the bell. That's what they always say.
Ring the bell.
You'll get the notification.
Sorry, we missed you. Now, one thing to note: same time every week. So that's the other thing that we try to do. I know because the notifications, for some reason don't always. I get that a lot too on some other stuff where Facebook didn't tell me about it. Okay, well. Put it in your calendar. We'd love to have you. Same time every week. Same.
And also, like I said, if you're on YouTube, not just subscribe and then click the bell icon. That's going to give you the notifications that we're running live. So ring the bell, smash that like button, subscribe and ring the bell. Yeah, I know.
So, all right. So I want to talk about the glitter bomb thing that I didn't get to talk about it. Two regular guys. Can I do that, please?
Mark Rober, all right. Go for it.
So Mark Rober, if you guys aren't familiar with this gentleman, and if you don't have a 8 to 15-year-old, you might not be, but he is a YouTube star and former NASA engineer that now makes these engineering projects. And what made him kind of most popular is he designed this glitter bomb that was designed to look like some headphones, and those headphones were then put on a porch for porch pirates to grab. And from there, it would track them, and then it would shoot glitter and fart spray on them to get them. Well, he's now taken that a step further, and they're now sending him to scammers. But he had this whole program about how in depth the scammers go. It was really interesting. My son was watching it. We actually sent it to our parents, because the scammers typically try to get people over 65, and so really interesting topic. So the way that the scammers work is.
Had to do it to you.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, folks.